Looks like we're live. Alan, you here with me?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can't see you yet.
Okay, cool.
There we go. There we go. Okay, wicked. Awesome. All right, before we get into it, I just want to give a little bit of a land acknowledgement. So, we want to take a moment to acknowledge that the land in which we stand is Treaty 1 territory. This is the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe, Cree, Ojibwe Cree, Dakota, and Dene peoples. And this is also the homeland of the Métis Nation. We respect the treaties that were made on these territories and acknowledge the harms and mistakes committed here. And we dedicate ourselves to move forward in partnership with Indigenous communities in a spirit of reconciliation and collaboration. Dope. So, Alan, I just want to say again, thanks so much for joining us. This session here is BPM times Music Works, a little bit of a collaboration. This is an opportunity for us to kind of dive into some stuff. And what we're talking about particularly today is how to monetize your music. So we're talking about this new world of art and how to essentially make money off of it. I guess like the best place to probably start is to kind of get an idea of your background. Like I feel like the first time I really got hit with with some knowledge of you and what you're about and what you do is really from the Kanye All Day. That was the track that I feel like I saw you, and then after that, it was like I saw you everywhere.
Yeah.
And it seems like if I read correctly, kind of dived into that, you got that intro from Plain Pat, right? Like, was that what it was?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He was one of the people. It was like various people. Like, so it was Virgil, it was Bon Iver, it was Plain Pat, it was a couple of people that were like, yeah, you know what I mean? I rock with this,
Word. And
Yeah.
so, like, in a lot of ways, it seems like that was probably the beginning of really the takeoff and how this entire story kind of goes
Mhm.
and begins. Would you say that's true?
I would say like definitely on a mainstream level,
Okay.
because like right before that it was like built up on a regional level. So it started very grassroots. It started very locally and then grew to like my city and my state and then my region, and then after it was at a regional level, then it grew to national and international through the Kanye cosign obviously, and all the
Word.
other stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like that's the way it's got to be, right? Like to get to a point where you can really push your music, you kind of got to make your city buy it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I think so. I think especially for like black artists, especially. I think a lot of our music has to do with identity, and we're very visual people and we want to see and know, and so I think with how we express ourselves, I feel like having our city behind our back is just something that we take pride in, and it doesn't matter the genre. It could be jazz, it could be classical, it could be whatever it is, but we tend to like tell stories within our music. So like that's why I feel like that's important. But yeah, had the city behind me, and I really think with any artist though, that's something you can kind of use, is to have like people in a physical place that relate to your experiences growing up, support you.
So how did you initially start building that community? Obviously, you needed to put together a community to actually get to a point where you could do this. Like, how did you get to that point where you get on the platform to for like the Plain Pats and Virgil and whoever else to like notice you?
Honestly, just like the internet, you know what I mean, putting stuff out on YouTube, on Twitter, just going hard, and then I remember I did my first show. Excuse me. My first show I did at the Beat in Uptown Minneapolis when I was 17, and I rented out the place myself. I had my own band play, paid the band. So I like really was doing everything myself, like,
Right.
and Plain Pat flew out here to like watch the show, and this was years before the whole Kanye thing. Um, Bon Iver would come out and watch my shows as well when I was coming up. So it was just through like actually doing it in real life. And then when I did reach out to people, it's like, hey, this is what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Rather than, can you put me on? It's like, I'm doing this. I would love if you could make it. You know what I'm saying? I love if you could join. And they see things grow progressively.
I love that, like you pointed that out in particular, like the idea of it's there were no favors, right? Like you it sounds like you earned it, it wasn't a give me a shot. It was like come see what I'm doing,
Yeah,
feel be in the room and feel the organic,
pretty
energy
much.
building over here, and then they can decide what to do with that once they see it.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly how I approached it.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, it's so then like going from the Kanye thing, you obviously got a lot of love off of All Day, and like from there you kind of became a bit of a like an indie darling. I imagine like
yeah,
labels were calling and managers and the way it goes when you start to
yeah.
pull a little bit. But you obviously decided to do your own thing.
Hmm.
What was the impetus there?
Well, like I'm very like entrepreneurial minded, so it was like I wasn't looking at label contracts, even though they might have been okay deals. I was just looking at them like contracts, and just like like if you just looked at it like a deal in general, like a business deal, it just looked like not a good business deal. Like
Mm,
so, it, and a lot of people, at the time were like, why would you turn that down or etc. But like to me, I was just like, oh, I think I get something better. Even if I couldn't have, like, I really felt like I could get something better. You know what I mean? And so I didn't, I didn't get any deals that excited me. Honestly, like there was no deal I got that I was like, oh, I'm willing to, give up my masters for this or like give up that percentage for this. Like I had a bunch of deals, but none of them excited me really because at the same time, it was like based off of a cosign. Like I had my own like fan base and stuff like that, but the deals weren't based off my fan base. The deals were based off a Kanye cosign. You see what I'm saying?
yeah,
So
yeah.
they're based off of, and even like the feeling is like it's kind of based off of. All right, just in case he keeps going, we'll sign him. But it's kind of like if you don't pop off in a certain amount of time, and if Kanye don't keep co-signing you, you're about to get shelved. Like I could tell what it was. Like I wasn't naive. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I don't want to put myself in a position where, like, okay, now if Kanye don't rock with me, you know, now I'm shelved at this other label. I'm not even on his label, and now it's, you know what I mean? I just wanted to be right, and so I just didn't find a situation that I felt like was all the way right in that regard, and even with my management situation. Um, but yeah, that's kind of how that played out. But now I'm happy I didn't sign nothing, right? But like at the time, definitely people were looking at me sideways.
I mean, it's like the bargaining power, right? Like you looked at it, you were like, I don't think I have all the I don't
Yeah,
have the bargaining power I would want to control the way that this,
right.
which is makes sense, right? Like you wanna sign something when you are in as much control as you can possibly hold.
Yeah,
Mhm. Um, so then like obviously like you went at it alone. You decided I'm gonna build my own crowd. I'm gonna do it the way that I want to do it. Um, and then like I feel like we kind of get into talking a little bit now about the internet and just how those different changes have allowed you to get to this point, right? So we're like looking at defining web 3.0, defining web 2.0. Maybe we start there, right? So internet as a platform was really like the first time you saw like the democratization of the internet, which was kind of like the first opportunity for people to interact and use the internet as a platform, right? And then it seems like Web 3.0, it's really the idea is decentralized internet. So there's no overlord, there's no boss. You're not controlled by a big tech company that has control of everything. And then that opens up the world for distributed ledgers, um, blockchain, NFTs, cryptocurrency, and the opportunity to kind of own your own product, and even get to the point where you're talking about art as like currency, right? So
yeah,
I feel like that's kind of where we're at now, and like you kind of become one of the first, not the first, but it seems like you really kind of spurred on a lot of this energy, releasing your songs and its NFTs and stuff like that. In my mind, like when was the first moment you were like, hey, there's something here, and I'm going to jump on it? Obviously, as an entrepreneurial person.
I would say like 3 months ago, I think I dropped my first one November. I sold my first one. I would say that's when I sold my first one. But like a couple months before that, I was like, I want to get into NFTs. But all I knew was that you can sell them and make money. I didn't really know anything else about them. And so I posted a video called Breathless to YouTube, and then I posted it on Twitter. And one of my fans was like, "Hey, you should put this post as an NFT." I was like, "I already am planning on doing so. I'm 10 steps ahead of you." And he was like, "No, I don't think you are. I can help you." You know what I'm saying? And so we started talking, and he started just really putting me on game about everything Web3. You know what I'm saying? Everything, and like showing me who is who and what's what and how it actually works. And like I just took hold of it. And he was like, if you really want to prosper on, he was like leaders prosper in the space. So I was like, okay, bet. You know what I'm saying? Because at first I was just listening in,
Yeah.
and then I understood the basics, and I was like, okay, cool. Well, now that I understand enough, I'm gonna just go ahead and start my own Twitter Spaces and just do my own thing, and start just putting my opinion out there on how the technology can help the world, and then so
Right.
it started growing.
So like, would you be able to give me just like a quick snapshot of like what an NFT is,
Mhm.
non-fungible token? What is that quickly?
Sure. So a non-fungible token is basically a digital asset that's signed by the artist or by the person that's selling it. So when you buy that asset, it's like on a public ledger. So when you go to the bank and you log into your bank account, that ledger is private. Only you see the transactions. Now, when you do it on with cryptocurrency, it's public. So when you buy something from me, everyone knows you got this from Allan Kingdom. Like it's public on millions of computers all around the world. So that is what that gives it value because now everybody can verify that you got an original copy of this picture or this song from straight from the artist, like having a signed painting.
Right.
Yeah.
So this kind of like leads back to the idea of like it's decentralized, right? There's no one person controlling. Now it's like we as a community can
Yep.
pull this up and say, yeah, this is worth X.
Hmm.
Okay. Um, when like for you then, like when was the first time it became apparent to you like this is where things are heading? Like
Um, it was gradual. It was gradual. After I sold my first one, and then started finding other artists who were also selling music. I was like, oh, okay. Why would anybody go back to prioritizing the other way, right? Like it'd be one thing if I take my money and put it into marketing, but I'm gonna start here because this is making me money straight off my art for people who appreciate it, and the people that appreciate it the most are going to push it because the more they promote it, the higher the value of the art because it's more popular. It just makes sense. It's like save. It's like pretty much um, coming up with the old age problem of how to activate my fans. How do I get my fans activated? What can I
right.
do to excite them?
Yeah,
Well, if they're invested in you, like that's the that's the biggest excitement that they probably could have, right? Like I did a drop for a song called Reasons. I sold 25 NFTs. Someone bought it for $400. That was the floor price, and then sold it for $2,800 the next day. You see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
so
yeah.
you think that person isn't going to support me?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Sorry.
I wanted to ask you a question just
Yeah.
about that right there. How does that feel? Like, I mean, on one end, it's beautiful. You sold something for $400, and then somebody believes in you so much and is able to go. But is does it sting a little bit too? And you're like, yo, this is for 400, and someone else is like, cool, grab it, listen, have fun, and like to the next man for 28. You know, how
Not
does that?
you get royalties off it. I get 10% of that.
Perfect.
You know
So
what I'm
sell
saying?
it again.
Yeah, keep selling it. You guys
Keep
keep
selling
selling
it.
it back and forth. So that's the thing. It's better than streaming royalties, right? So
Yeah.
if someone sells it for 2,800 and I make 10%, that's $280. Like it takes for streaming, you get 0.004 cents per song. So it's just like for a million plays, that's $4,000. Like
And they're planning on chopping it down too. Well, they're hoping it might not go through. Obviously, they're
yeah,
always talking, but even now they're looking at relitigating all of that and changing that streaming revenue too. So that's even crazier that you're able to do it this way.
yeah. Like it is wild. It's wild, and they're getting shook. Don't get it twisted. They're trying to be ahead of this. Like
Sure.
it's not like they're just sitting back. Like oh okay, we're no. They're paying attention. They're just staying quiet till they make that next move. They're watching all of these new music NFT marketplaces come up, and all of these artists make all this money within seconds and stop uploading stuff on their platforms. They're not playing fools either.
Well, it's like, like I feel like anytime you get to a point where artists or creatives start circumventing the system like freaks out and then has to figure out how to catch up, right?
Yeah.
And you saw it with, particularly when you're talking about Web 2.0, right? Like that was the big thing with like Napster. A little different because a lot of creators, at first felt like they were getting hurt by it, but at the same time, it was like, that was the music industry, particularly labels, were just like, holy crap, like how do we adjust, how do we fix this? And it took them years. And the funny thing is, like, I feel like it's only not too long ago, majors started to figure out how to adjust properly, and we're already moving on to the next thing, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be hard for them to kind of transition in this space, because the thing that makes people buy your art is the intimate relationship between the artist and the NFT. Like, that's what they want. They want your story. They want to know, everything. And it's hard to do that if you have three people in between you and your story and your release as per a label. You have the distribution person, you have the marketing person, you have this. Like, that whole formula of how things work in this space, people are very hands-on. Like, they do their research, you know what I'm saying? They look. And so people can kind of sniff out when something is just being packaged and when it's an artist just putting their heart and soul out and minting, which means uploading an NFT. Let's see what this question. Does the value of an NFT decrease as more people purchase/have it? Can something be rare or unique and widely popular at the same time? That's a great question. So the value of an NFT decreases as less people have it.
Nice.
The more people that have it, the more popular it is, the more sought after it is, the higher the price is, right? And it's like, let's say like stocks or like Jordan shoes, right? The more that people want it, the more it's gonna cost, right? Like, so it's the same thing as anything else. The more people want it, the more it costs. Can something be rare or unique and widely popular at the same time? Yeah. Like, you can have a collection of, let's say, 50 paintings, digital paintings, and they can cost a lot of money because everyone wants them. So it can be rare, but it's a high price and everybody wants it, right? So it depends. It's all just economics of how you want to play it.
I guess even in that, like looking at it that way, it's mind blowing too, because thanks to the internet and thanks to social media, we all know about tons of things that we will never have. You know, like everybody, you could ask a kid in third grade what a Bugatti is, and they'll tell you exactly what a Bugatti is. They're never going to own a Bugatti or know somebody who's going to own, but they know exactly what it is. So kind of following up with that, how have you found now your creative process is changed? You were talking about how there's no label anymore. So there's very few steps between you as the artist, your creation, and getting it out. How has that changed the creative process then? Because you don't have to worry about another artist on the label releasing the same time as you and like all that. You're like, yo, I know my people. I know who wants this.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
It's more motivating because with me, I always went the independent route. I always went rogue. So it's just like, now it's like, oh, this is finally paying off. Like, I do my own artwork, right? I cut up my own videos. I do my own color correction, right? And I work with a team, but I'm very hands-on. And so in this space, the more hands-on you are, the less people you got to cut in. You feel what I'm saying? Whereas before, even if you did all of that, first of all, nobody cared if you did your own artwork. That isn't something that people really care about until you're at a certain level, right? Like, unless you're at like Tyler the Creator now is a established person, people care. But coming up as a new artist, you just have to be dope. Nobody cares if you're doing it or whatever the case. In this space, people care about how much you've curated your art, right? Like, that adds more value to them. They're like, oh wow, like you did that and that and that, so it's got to be worth more. It's the same thing as an art gallery or if you look at a sculpture, right? If the sculptor is selling the sculpture and he's like, yeah, I did this all by myself and it's like 16 feet high, right? It's worth more money. He did that whole thing by himself. So think of it as a virtual art gallery. That's really all it is.
In a lot of ways, I feel like you're almost like rewarding the fan for being more knowledgeable about the product, right?
Yeah.
Like it's almost like, because there's always going to be like pop culture, the people that dive into pop culture and they kind of just surface level, but then you have other artists who really have those like fans, right?
Right.
And so those fans are going to be like, I want to know everything about this track to like make sure that I'm making the proper purchase.
Right.
Cool.
I'm gonna cop this one because I know Allan went and recorded this with
Right.
Tibet with, but
Yes.
you know what I mean, and like that like raises that. So you're almost like rewarding your fan base really for like being locked in, knowing about the product, being invested. I really love that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really cool. You're rewarding people for being early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that.
So now, how does this work? This is great. I'm learning so much. You're gonna go out. You're gonna play a show. Does that change anything? Like with royalties and everything, and you're like, so now you're still playing the shows the same. You're still touring the same stuff. It's just there's just limited copies of the files floating around, or how is it working for your music?
You can still put it out the same way you want to. I could still put it on streaming. Like that doesn't affect. It's two different things.
Nice.
The NFT and the song on streaming is not the same thing, right? Anyone can get the song on streaming, right? So anyone can get a pair of Jordans, but you can also get a pair of Jordans signed by Michael Jordan.
Yes.
One is going to be worth more. It's going to have more value. So, like, some would argue the more popular the song, the more valuable the NFT, the more streams it has, the more valuable the NFT. You could even argue that. It doesn't take the value away from it because music's meant to be heard. It's just, imagine you having a digital copy of Aretha Franklin, R-E-S-P-E-C-T.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, even though the song is popular, you would still have some type of ownership over that song, or have an ownership over a Michael Jackson NFT. Regardless, that's still a fingerprint that he had, right, on the world. And if you're able to verify that digitally, like, imagine how much that would be worth right now. Even though he has CDs and DVDs, etc., that doesn't negate the fact that it only adds, right?
Oh, yeah.
It only adds value the more impact you have.
Which is,
I got a quick question. Like, one thing that went through my mind the first time, this kind of passed. I've always been interested in the space. I think the first time it kind of like occurred to me that there was something changing, though it like failed terribly, was, remember when Wu-Tang released that one? They're like, I'm going to sell one.
It did not fail.
Definitely didn't fail.
It did not fail terribly.
Well, the wrong guy bought it, I think is the idea, right? So, there were flaws in their system, but I think that was like the first time I saw something interesting. I was like, yeah, like they're totally stepping around the system completely and doing their own thing and working directly with the fan base to figure out how to make this happen, right?
Yeah.
So that was like the first time that I saw something interesting like that. And I was like, it's interesting. I'm curious to see where this goes. And then, with NFTs, I would say like in the last 6 months is when it's really started bubbling up a little bit. I've heard more people doing it. And I couldn't help but be a little cynical, like just being honest. And my hype goes, is this a trend? Will this bubble burst when, eventually will people get to the point where they're just like, I don't know about this. I want to throw this out to you. Where do you see this ultimately going? Is this a trend? Is this something that will continue? Are there legs here?
Yeah, I honestly, this is bigger than music. This is going to affect every industry, commerce in general, like every business, like from real estate to your local city government. Like NFTs are such a useful instrument for access and transfer of assets at light speed that, like, there's no way that this isn't going to seep into every layer of society. I genuinely feel like the way you pay your rent, the way you pay your electricity, everything is going to be on the blockchain because it doesn't make sense for it not to be. I really feel like that's the way we're headed. And it's just art and technology tend to be the two things that are first. Those tend to be the things in society that bend the rules first. And everyone always thinks it's a trend, but the trend ends up becoming the new norm every time. It always looks like a silly little thing, right? Like even the .com, the .com blah, 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 the internet's going to go away. There's newspaper articles that are talking about how the internet is just a fad. The internet is a fad, right?
Right.
All every time we say, "Oh, that's just a little thing," like it ends up becoming the new norm. Like there's an 11-year-old kid. I'm the creative director of his NFT project. He's a coder, developer, and artist, and codes his own Minecraft server. And he's coding it so that kids will be able to play the game and earn cryptocurrency while they're playing the game. And he codes his own NFT dogs and gives 10% of the proceeds to a shelter in Thailand for
Wow.
dogs to rescue animal dogs. And he's 11 years old, and he does some of my coding. You know what I'm saying? Like he's working on my next project. You see what I'm saying? And I gotta plug that. It's called Dogs Unleashed. Dogs hashtag Dogs Unleashed. But like that's the future, right? And I remember when I was younger, watching my like little cousins play Minecraft and stuff, and be like, "What's this little game? This little block?" But it's like that thinking is how the future is being built, right? Even if you look at video games and combat and war, it's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? We fight wars with the same technology we use to create these video games now. So every time we look at something and be like, it's a little silly thing, it ends up becoming the new norm. And so I'm just gonna go with the wave of what's history repeats itself, you know?
So right now, like you're blowing my mind. You're taking it you're like something really big and pretty scary. To be honest, like not from the outside looking in, it can be scary, but it's also really encouraging when I hear this. So, for a lot of our people watching, they want to know this is all great, Allan, but how do I get involved? You know what I mean? They're at that point now. Yeah. They have a great song. They just recorded it yesterday.
Right.
You talked about doing some research. You talked about learning about the space.
Right.
Where's some practical things that they can do to get started right now?
What's step one?
Step one is always going to be, I'm always encouraging people to be self-learners first. Self-interest. Go on YouTube and binge. You know what I mean? Spend a couple hours just looking up NFTs, how it works. Just get some type of, just binge. You know what I mean? Get some type of self-interest going, right?
Is there you mind plugging someone? Is there someone that you learned from that you're like, hey, this is
NFT boss on YouTube?
Yeah, this is my guy. I learned a ton from this.
I haven't, to be honest. It's been little pieces from different people.
Sure.
And like some YouTube videos, it's not one YouTube video that I understood everything. I'm still learning. Like I still don't know everything. Trust me, there's people that know way more than me. I just figured out how to make some money from it. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like how to utilize it for my art right now. But I'm still gonna keep growing in it.
For sure.
That's why I'm saying just the self-interest thing is the first thing, because I watched a bunch of videos at first, but I still didn't really understand it how I should have. But at least I had some type of basic knowledge of what was going on. Second thing, aside from that, OpenSea.io. OpenSea.io is the biggest NFT marketplace there is. There's music on there, there's pictures, there's videos. Go to OpenSea.io and just click on stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just click on stuff. I would actually like to share my screen with you here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go.
Great.
And do a walkthrough. So this walkthrough will be.
Make sure we got that. Isabella, can we share Allan's screen up with everybody? Shout out to Isabella handling all this streaming on the back end, making this nice for us. I really appreciate that. Let's see where we got that. Make sure if we pull that up. Let's see.
Working.
She's gonna get on that in a second. We'll make sure you do that. In the meantime, while we're getting that pulled up, saying you didn't share it yet. Is there a way? One second, just working on it. Do you have an icon in there to share on your screen there, Allan?
Yeah, 1 second. So
Sweet.
you see it now, right? See my screen?
Yeah, we're up. We're good.
So let me start over. This OpenSea, right? This is the biggest NFT marketplace. No matter what other marketplace you release on, all of these websites are connected. It's not like you upload on YouTube and then you can upload on Vimeo. And if you search something on YouTube, it's not going to pop up on Vimeo, right? Like with NFTs, all of this is it's all connected, right? So I can drop something on another marketplace and look it up on OpenSea.
Okay.
So this right here is the collection of my friend William, the 11-year-old boy who codes these dogs himself. The floor price is, which means the lowest price you can buy it for is 0.02, and only one of them are for sale for that, which is about $50. But otherwise, they're about $150 to buy.
Wow.
This ones, right? And they used to be $5, so you could have 20x your money in 3 months.
Oh, wow.
The dogs that I got have 10x since I've gotten them. And this is his OG collection to start. And there's 400 dogs, 300 people own them. This is the floor price, and this is how much has been traded to this day. So
wow.
This is Ethereum. So right now Ethereum is about $2,500. So I multiply that by 6.9, and so this is about $17,000 in volume traded. But if you look at the complete assets of all of these items, this is worth about $80,000. All of these together. He's 11. This is within 3 months. See what I'm saying? And so he's dropping a collection of 10,000 on March 24th. And by then, these are going to be worth a lot more. So
wow.
I'm going to plug these here, and then I'll show you my page because I'm a musician. So I'll show you my page and how it looks. Okay. So this is the Reason single I dropped. And these are just all the different copies. There's 25 of them, 25 copies of the single. And so if you go up here, there's 25 of copies of the song. There's 24 owners, so one person owns 2. And the floor price is 3 Ethereum, which is about $7,000.
Wow. And
so every time, basically that $7,000 is about 1.8 million streams on Spotify, right? And every time that's sold, I get $780. I get 10% every time it's resold for that price. So if you look at like the economics of this as opposed to just streaming your music online, like it's a no-brainer. You can still stream it, right?
Yeah.
You can take this money and put it into promotion. Like there's so many things you can do. But yeah, it's really that simple, you know?
So, with that, so you're talking about you're still able to stream that, and you're still doing other things. What about like placements and things? Like you still own the rights to be able to use it in placements, or do people who like people who buy it, do they see any percentages of anything like that, or how does that part work?
They get the upside. So they don't get the royalties unless I promised them that. Nas did that. I'm sharing this now. Nas did that for his drop. He did. He shared his royalties with, but it's not necessary. You don't have to do that.
Okay. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. So you do your research is where you started. Getting on OpenSea, the step 2, familiarizing yourself. How would you say was the third? What was the third thing that you really did that you know, kind of put it to? Because it's honestly, the way you're talking about this and you're going through it, it's such an organized, like, you know, it seems real simple. And I'm like, there's no way it's that simple. You're clearly a smart dude, did your work. But now, like OpenSea, I know there's more to it.
There is.
What's the next thing?
The next thing, after all of that, you have a great art. You understand, you put it up. You got to grind now. You got to get the word out. That's really the big, that's the work. That is the work. You know what I'm saying? Just like uploading a song on SoundCloud. That's easy. You know what I'm saying? Like that part is easy. Now, how are you going to get people to that song? That's up to you now. You got to figure that out. You know what I mean? You got to go, and the place to do that is Twitter. Twitter is the place where NFT people thrive. That's where everybody talks. That's where everyone. Instagram is dead to Web3. It's obsolete to Web3 because it's just pictures. Twitter is your ideas and your thoughts and information. Right? And that's what this is about, is spreading information.
Are there any Twitter handles or people that we should check out?
So Twitter handles, I would say follow Simbie, SIIMBIIE. Follow Black Dave, who is another, he is an educator for sure. Black Dave is an educator. So just Black Dave, literally how you spell Black and Dave. Um, Black Dave, he's an educator, man. He really breaks down how a lot of this stuff works.
Okay.
Latasha, it at Call Me Latasha, Latasha, at Call Me Latasha. She's another artist. She just sold a music video for $50,000,
Okay.
um, which is 13 Ethereum, and
Wow.
she's an amazing artist. And last person I would say Iman Europe, IMAN Europe, Iman Europe, is also a great resource as well. And she's a great artist, and she's also head of relations at Sound XYZ, which is a music NFT platform. So these are all people you can follow to, and then once you follow them, you'll see more people. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
to
yeah.
learn. And I've learned most of this stuff on Twitter. To be honest with you, most of
That's
the stuff
awesome.
on Twitter was following people on Twitter and just watching.
So
Yeah.
if I set up my OpenSea, right? I'm on there. I've learned a little bit.
hmm
How do I get my money into my, like, where does the money go?
Where's the money go? So when you're on OpenSea, right, you have a wallet. So that wallet is kind of like it's a bank account for your crypto. And the same way you have an extension on your browser, I'll share my screen again. So I'll show you one of my wallets here. So this is right here. This is the wallet right here. So you click the wallet. I got a little bit in here. 0.02 ETH, about like 50
Have
bucks.
you shared yet, Alan? You can't
Oh, I
share.
didn't share. 1 second. So this wallet, you can transfer money in and out like a bank account. Um, and this is just a little logo like that, right? Open it up,
We
like
still
just like
can't
this.
see it. Is this Isabella? Is there something going on? Or
Just let's see. Sorry.
How about now?
no, not yet.
Sorry, we're just getting some of those Twitter handles in the chat there for you.
How about now?
And now let's see. Yeah, there we go. Now what's up?
So this is a what it looks like right here. This is one of my wallets, so you can take money in and out. 0.02 ETH, about 50 bucks in here. So it tells you ETH, tells you how much money is in there, right? All your transactions and stuff like that. And that's you connect your wallet to the site, like so right here. Add funds. So I could add funds from another wallet and deposit it in. You see what I'm saying? Just like a bank account. Um,
Nice.
and it just connects to these different NFT sites. That's pretty much how it works.
Right.
Wow.
So it's like you can't buy crypto through your like debit card or anything with this.
Yeah.
You have to send it from another wallet that can. But I'm gonna let the people figure out how to do that. But it's really easy. It's just like routing money from one bank account to another. You have a wallet address, which is pretty much like a routing number. You just plug it in and you send it to your wallet on your computer, and then it's in there.
I'm gonna
That's
say
it.
for those of you that are interested in looking up a little bit more about it, what I find the easiest way to buy cryptocurrency is start with ShakePay. That's probably a good place to start as a Canadian. So that's a good place to start. Google ShakePay, and like Alan said, do your research. You'll learn a little
ShakePay?
bit. ShakePay, yeah.
Say it again. Spell it out for us.
ShakePay.
There you go.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know you were out buying crypto. You didn't even tell me.
Been buying crypto.
I've been buying crypto, guy. He says. You didn't even say nothing. This is
Been buying.
discussion. Have you been on it for a while?
Yeah.
That's good for you. See? So now we're really starting to see the relationship between the crypto and the NFTs and kind of those working together. How accessible I know we can talk with the wallets and everything like that. Does it feel though? I've always felt with crypto and with NFTs like the money's there, you hear about it, but like does it feel like you got somebody if you need, or there's a whole process to go in? So it's nice. It's the same thing.
Yeah, definitely.
That's beautiful.
Definitely. Yeah, it's just getting through that initial hump of transferring it over, It's just annoying. You gotta wait a couple of days for it to hit the bank account. That's all. It's just like wish it was a little bit faster.
Mhm.
But the way things are going
It
and
will be.
how many products you can buy with crypto is gonna reach a point where you never have to even take it out because all the stuff you need you can exactly because I use it for a lot of stuff. But now
Yeah.
that I'm in Web3, like I pay people out of my wallet, I buy more NFTs and I'm gonna flip. You see what I'm saying? There's so many things I actually use it for
Mhm.
aside from just taking cash out. You know what I mean? So it, as time goes on, you're gonna need to take it out less and less.
Yeah.
Right? Right now it's just like you're new, boom, I need this cash. You know what I'm saying? We take it out. But as time goes on, you will be probably leaving it in there more and more.
Okay.
And you won't
That's
even care
wild.
how much dollars it is because you will have it in the cryptocurrency. So
And just appreciating it everything over time
yeah,
too. That's a really a wild way to look at it. It's funny how easy you can draw those parallels between you're talking, it's like a signed one of a kind copy is
mm-hmm.
next door to money. You know
Exactly.
what I mean? Like it's so wild, but if you think about it, I used to there's a show I used to love called Masterminds where it just showed all these people with crazy capers and crimes that they were doing. And one of the craziest ones I saw was this dude who was just making counterfeit baseball cards. And then another one doing counterfeit perfume. And I always laughed because I was like, man, people pay for the items. Like that's a currency. And now to see it in a digital realm, we don't have to go to a trade show anymore. We don't have to go see this person in concert live. We can just link up with them directly on screen and walk away with a one of a kind, well, 50 of a kind or whatever, very limited edition that is direct currency.
Yeah, yeah.
Man,
It's beautiful, and you realize all money is, and the reason why it has value is because we decided it does.
it
That's it.
does.
That's the only reason why. Because
Yeah.
it costs more to make. You know what I mean? Than what it's worth. So it's like we as a people decided this piece of paper has value, and we realized that when we as a people get together and say something has value, it gives it value. It then has this. It has value, and so people have gotten more aware of that now.
I'm just gonna say one thing. I'll let Andrew on this. Put on your Nostradamus hat for a second right now, and I want you to predict something for me, or at least give your opinion of it. Record labels right now, how are they gonna find a way to work their way in, or is this just going to slow the market share? Are we going to see indie labels collapsing? Like what's how we're going to see majors break up? Like what's happening? Because this is crazy.
They've already started implementing NFTs into music contracts already. They already said we want to take. I got a homegirl who she just turned down a label deal because she was on a label and they said we want 50% of your NFT sales. She said no.
Wow.
So they're already just going straight for it like that.
Even that Nas, like, because it's like when you see an artist as big as Nas make as big of a move, you got to imagine the labels involved, right? Like, I'd be surprised.
The thing is, I also think money is money, so they're gonna find a way to transform what they do, right? So like they have the resources to sit back and wait because they got money. You see what I'm saying? And see, okay, how do we want to enter this? There's something called a DAO, which is a decentralized autonomous organization. It's another form of a company, but everything's decentralized, and different people just do different things, and everyone gets tokens, which are like shares of the company, and that incentivizes them to work harder. So a lot of labels are just going to turn into those. You know what I mean? They're just going to offer their services decentralized. They might have a photographer over here, A&R over there, etc., and they're just going to kind of fit into how things are moving. I think that's what they're going to do. Because I don't think they're just going to fold in the towel and say, all right, we're out of business. You know what I mean? I don't see that happening.
Definitely not folding. It was more of a question of like the restructuring, what that's going to look
Right.
like. But what you just mentioned answers that question pretty crazy for me.
Yeah.
Is that where you're like, so someone like you who's seeing the amount of success that you're seeing and learning and that hunger, is that where you see yourself kind of moving?
Yeah, for sure. At some point, I personally, like, I'm going to probably just build out a team to handle all of that for me. But as right now, I'm doing it with like 2-3 other people on my team. But yeah, a DAO is pretty much just a company that runs in another way. You see what I'm saying? So I'm still on the fence because it's like, do I want to start another company? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not sure if I want to do that. I kind of do just want to be an artist, you know. And of course, you got to be active and engage your community. But yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm gonna say quickly. We're kind of heading into the last few minutes of this. If anybody has any questions, please put them in the chat. We'll fire them off at Allan, just for an opportunity to kind of get some of those questions answered. I have a question though, quickly, just like some insider info. You seem like someone that's fairly plugged in. You got an idea of like what's happening in the space. Are there any other projects? You mentioned the dog project with the 11-year-old. That you think's really interesting. Are there any other projects that you think people should be looking at? Are you staking in anything? Like, where?
Yeah.
I'm curious.
I would say the Fluff World project. Look into that, because that project is it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. They have AI, artificial intelligence brains. That company that has manufactured those Fluff World bunnies, which are now I think 5 ETH, which is about like $10,000 or more. They're making artificial intelligence brains that you put inside your NFT. I have a party bear as well. They make party bears, bunnies. They make a bunch of different stuff, but they make these brains that you put inside your NFT that then goes into the universe, the metaverse, and plays the game for you and creates its own art and sells that art as NFTs while you're not even there.
Yo.
Oh my god.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, that's where this is headed. Could you imagine?
I'm excited and so scared.
Could you imagine playing Grand Theft Auto and your guy is on computer mode and he's going through the game but winning real money? Like, he's actually going and completing the mission and he's winning real money, and you come back to the game like, all right, I made 5 racks today.
Yeah, you know, for those listening, that is true passive income. That is as passive as you can get. That's the ultimate goal, right? Making money while you're sleeping.
Exactly.
Like, but it's even beyond passive. Passive is one thing. This is talking. Like, you don't even have time to play video games. Like, I'm too busy playing video games, but I want to get paid still, which is at next level. Wow. Yeah. Okay, Fluff World.
Fluff World. Check them out. And they make all of these they make all this stuff. They make party bears, which is one of I got a party bear, right? Those are still not as expensive as the Fluffs. They make these other things called what are these called, man? I got some more of them. They play football. Just look them up. Just look up Fluff World, and you'll find all of them. Yeah.
Jeez.
Amazing.
Yeah.
We got in the chat. Let's see. Just people making comments like Ghost in the Shell is the one that popped up, the last one there. Shout out to Mongala. Look at that. Shout out to Boogie the Beat. Everybody that's joining in right now. Angelo, Sal, Rainy Day Apparel, amazing. Okay, I'm just happy. Shout out to people getting out here, getting comments. Anybody else? Please get in here. We could probably fit in a couple more questions. Allan's been great, by the way. I've learned so much. I learned that I can have a video game make money for me. Yeah. I learned that everything special that I've ever done, I need to get fans, and I need to get them to pay me for amazing things. This is great. Yeah. So your empowerment financially, because obviously the way when you have that spending power and you have that thing, how has it changed? This is a quick question for me. How has it changed the art that you put out now that you're solely, it's just all about you and the fans directly? How has that changed you?
It definitely made me like not second guess as much. Just let it go. You know what I mean? I'm just like, just let it go, because it's the repetition that causes perfection. Even releasing music is you're practicing. It's a communication with your audience. It's a back and forth. So it's like, okay, someone's gonna like it. Maybe not everyone will, but someone's gonna like it because it's good. It's not gonna be bad. You know what I mean? It might not be a cup of tea, but it's gonna be good quality. So I might as well put it out there. All the greatest artists had a lot of music out. Prince, Michael Jackson, Tupac, they have a bunch of music. They still releasing music and they're gone. You know what I mean? So for me, it creates less of a barrier, and I can do things faster and get compensated for them and try and keep building, and just keep moving and have money to reinvest back in and do something even better. So
I feel like this system in particular he was like particularly built for like singles. You know what I mean? Like releasing in that way. I'm wondering, will it get to a point where it affects full albums, and like how is that different than, you know,
There's
releasing
people that have dropped albums already. Like this artist named Domino, where you go on his website. He has his own marketplace. You go on his website, you pay one time, and you get 7 different NFTs with 7 songs.
Oh wow!
And I remember when I bought his album. So his album was basically, after I bought it, all of the songs were worth double. So right after I bought it, I had double my money because like when you get all of the songs together, they were all worth double what the whole project was if you added it all up. You see what I'm saying? So people be putting out projects in really creative ways. How do you balance the music and the NFT business side? It's pretty much the same. You know, it's pretty much the same. It's not really that much different. I'm assuming like if you have a manager or something, you still have to pay. You're still gonna want that money. You know what I mean? Like it's the same. Like if I do something with a producer, if I don't produce the song, I just split it with them. You know what I mean? It's a lot easier actually because it's automatic and you can just send them the money and it's done. You know?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really great.
All right. I mean, we're just about at the end here. So like, is there anything you want to leave everybody with, Allan? Kind of.
Yeah, I would just say, hey, believe in yourself. There's no reason not to do this. Like, at least try it out. You know, at the end of the day, it's like $200-300 really to like mint something, put something up. Try it out. You never know what doors is gonna open for you. I didn't. 3-4 months ago, I barely knew about this. So yeah, join my Discord. I have a Discord. It's pretty much like a blog where people talk and exchange ideas. And I also have a Telegram group as well. So
are you able to put those up there so we can share those addresses?
Yeah, I'm trying to think what's the best way to share that link with you.
Let's see. You know what? Let's see. Oh, you know what? If you Isabella's, you hop in and get in. There you go. There's Isabella right now, coming through with the quickness on the screen there. Let's see. That's getting all pulled up. I did want to do one thing while you guys are doing that. I didn't get a chance. I was having some technical difficulties before. I didn't get to do the land acknowledgement, so I really want to do that now. Did you?
I did. Do it again.
Oh, man.
Do it again.
2 times.
2 times. Let's do it
Double
again.
the land acknowledgement. Just reminding everybody that we'd like to recognize that Manitoba Music was founded on Treaty 1 territory, which is the original lands of the Anishinaabe, Cree, OG Cree, Dakota, and Dene peoples, and the homeland of the Métis Nation. And I would like to recognize the strong Inuit community here in Manitoba. Manitoba Music respects the treaty in which our organization resides, and we commit to moving forward in partnership with Indigenous communities in the spirit of collaboration and reconciliation. So, seeing as this is a BPM event as well, you know what I mean, we definitely want to make sure that we give that shout out and those land acknowledgements. It's really important for all communities, and being, you know what I mean, being who we are, we want to definitely shout that out too.
I want to say one more thing. So, Breakout West is obviously coming up. Advance is hosting a industry mixer. So just to let you know, that's Saturday, February 5th at 3:30 p.m. Everyone's welcome. Please come through, come check it out. It's an opportunity to kind of connect with the Black community in the music industry. Come through. So that's a little message from Advance Music, and that's it. That's all.
Well, let's see that screen share. I just want to catch that screen share before we shut down. You had somebody doing a little dance on the screen there. Can we share that up? There it is.
Yeah, this is the party book.
There.
This is mine. This is the one I got.
That's
yeah.
Dope.
So also there's music on it too, and you can sell each different part of this. I can sell just the chain or just the jacket or just the glasses too.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I gotta catch up.
It's a new world.
I gotta catch up.
Do your Googles. Allan, really appreciate you sitting down with us. This was great. Obviously, I speak for everyone saying like we appreciate your time.
Yo, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, man, keep doing what you're doing. I appreciate it a lot.
Yeah. All right, easy. And let us know when you're Winnipeg next time.
Okay, cool. I got you.
Nice. All right. Take care.
You too.
Peace.